Poorly explain what you do for work.
I lightly restrain children and give them new identities.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I shave butts.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
A Medicare-sponsored taxi cab, peppered intermittently with jaw-dropping, adrenaline-rushing, life-threatening situations, followed by unhealthy coping mechanisms and PTSD.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I get paid to listen to gossip, and then I tell everybody how it's their parents' fault.
Poorly explain what you do for work. Poorly explain what you do for work.
So I'm going to explain what I do for work in a good way just because it sounds weird. So first I cut the hair so that it's 1 centimeter long, and then I wash the hair with water and put it in the sonicator so that the sonicator is screaming at me for 5 minutes. And then I filter the hair out of the water with tweezers and a filter paper and a beaker, okay? And then I do it all again except with dichloromethane. I do it 3 times each, and then after that, I pat it dry with more filter paper and then put it into a test tube, and I'm good for right now.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I get paid to take wealthy people on walks.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I shoot people to convince other people to go to the school that I go to.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
We give untrained people the keys to high-powered hydrocraft with no experience and little training.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I make that pipe fit. And I'm not talking about adult entertainment, you nasty little...
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I'm an lover. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm an lover. I'm gonna make it. I will.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I punch people in the face sometimes for money. Oh, I'm also a professional pretender, so much so that I am in a guild of professional pretenders. Oh, and I also scream at kids to keep their hands up endlessly.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I pretend to be somebody that I'm not, and I get paid for it. Not a lot, but I mean I get paid.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I say to at least 3 customers a shift that we do not have a pharmacy at this location.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I hit kids with swords to teach them how to block. I mean, I also kick and punch them, but it's okay. Their parents signed a waiver.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I make dead cattle look pretty again.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I squeeze tits, and I drive tractors.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I play with balls. I play with all different kinds of balls. Black balls, blue balls, yellow balls, green balls, brown balls, balls of every kind, balls of every shape. I have to make sure that they're nice and perfectly well lubricated. And then right when they're the perfect amount of wet, you just grab them and you get these little cups and you just squish the balls into the cup until it makes this wet farting noise. And then when I get really mad, I smack the crap out of a gummy bear.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I stimulate your body from behind.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I stab animals to keep them from dying.
Poorly explain what you do for work. I'll go first.
Somebody takes something that they borrowed from the first person and hands it to me. I put it through a machine and then I put it away.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I get people to pay a ridiculous amount of money to go to a human trap set by a mouse.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I help you kill your darlings.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I'm in human trafficking.
Do you fancy a ride?
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I consistently remind adults on how to do their job and make sure that they don't go home until they have finished their adult tasks.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I hunt people for money.
Poorly explain what you do for work. I'll go.
I put tiny humans and teenagers on 1,000-pound animals, then watch them go around and around, then I make them go faster, then I make them jump over things.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I get shot at least 500 times whenever I work.
Poorly explain what you do for work. I'll go first.
I go to college full time. You don't believe me? Look. Ting. Honestly, easiest job I have ever done. I get paid to have mental breakdowns.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
In exchange for money, I give you liquid that gives you the ability to travel to and from work to make money in hopes that when you're done with work, you'll come back here and give me more money to feed your addictions such as unhealthy snacks, nicotine products, gambling, and also alcohol.
Poorly explain what you do for work. I'll go first.
Well, for my job, I generally check my surroundings and see if there's any innocent bystanders I see that I can go over to and assert my dominance by asking them if they need my help with anything. And while I'm at it, I always make sure I'm checking them out and giving them the thorough scan. And occasionally, I'll handle their jugs of milk. I work at Trader Joe's.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I take a bunch of stuff, put it in a bowl, put that stuff into a pan, put that into a box that's real hot, burn it to my liking, take it out, slather it in a mixture of animal fat and sugar, and then give it to people. It's usually the happiest day of their lives. They usually come back to me for more. I'm a cake decorator. I make cakes, wedding cakes, all of it.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I paint dead babies.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I get tissue and I wrap it around my fingers, and then there's a bump which either has like a white tip or a black tip, and I apply a little bit of pressure and then it just comes out.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
Oh, me? I play dress up for a living. I lie for a living. I play make-believe for a living.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
Every single month I try a different tiny little cup in there to catch bodily fluids, and I teach people how they can also use tiny little cups to catch their bodily fluids.
Poorly explain what you do for work. I'll go first.
Well, that's easy. I turn people on. And some people off. Some people.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
So I cut pieces of paper into square or rectangles. I then go to the store and get about $100 worth of items, and I use my pieces of paper to pay for my items instead of using my own cash. Oh, and then I teach thousands of other people how to do it too.